Everyone talks about the swords in Kill Bill, but almost nobody talks about the guns. And today, that changes. In this video, we're breaking down every key gun used in Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, what it is in real life, what it's made from, what ammo it eats, and roughly what it would cost you in the real world. At number 10 is the If Things Get Really Bad gun hanging in Larry's strip club office in Kill Bill, a Mossberg 500 pump-action shotgun. The Mossberg 500 is a 12-gauge workhorse with an aluminum receiver, steel barrel, and a tubular magazine under the barrel. Most modern models top that off with polymer furniture, making it durable, weather-resistant, and the kind of gun you leave by the back door when your customer service policy is no refunds, no complaints. You only see it briefly behind Larry, but it tells you everything about the place. The club is cheap, the owner is sleazy, and the shotgun is there to end arguments that last more than 2 minutes. In today's market, a Mossberg 500 typically runs somewhere around $400 to $600, depending on barrel length, stock style, and whether you add rails and tactical nonsense you will never use. Number 9 lives inside O-Ren Ishii's anime origin story, the Norinco Type 54, the Chinese copy of the Soviet Tokarev TT-33. This pistol is all steel, slab-sided frame and slide, firing the .762 by 25mm Tokarev cartridge, a fast little bottlenecked round that hits harder than it looks on paper. It uses a single-action trigger and an 8-round magazine, and it looks like something a communist officer would carry in a grainy black-and-white photo, because that's basically where it comes from. In the anime flashback, Matsumoto's guards carry these Tokarev-style guns, waving them around his penthouse like disposable henchman accessories. In the real world, surplus Tokarev Type 54 pistols often live in the $250 to $500 range, one of the cheapest ways to get a piece of Cold War handgun history and pretend you're in a Tarantino anime. Number 8 is a 90s action movie legend, the Beretta 92FS, used by Pretty Riki during O-Ren's anime segment. The 92FS is a full-size 9x19mm pistol with an aluminum alloy frame, an open-top steel slide, and a double-stack 15-round magazine. It's big, smooth, and instantly recognizable, the kind of gun that screams cop movie VHS tape. Pretty Riki uses his Beretta to shoot liquor bottles in O-Ren's home, turning dinner into a DIY fireworks show of glass and flames. On the civilian market, a standard 92FS usually costs something like $700 to $900, more if you want some special edition that says, "I watched Die Hard too many times." At number 7 is the gun for people who think recoil is a personality trait, the Desert Eagle in .50 Action Express, the O-Ren's hand cannon. The Desert Eagle is actually gas-operated, like a rifle, with a rotating bolt and a huge steel frame built to handle massive .50 AE cartridges. It's heavy, overbuilt, and basically the look-at-me of handguns. In O-Ren's anime scenes, she uses her Desert Eagle to literally blow chunks off her enemies. Limbs go one way, blood goes the other, and the gun looks like it weighs as much as a car battery. A real Desert Eagle in .50 AE will usually run you somewhere around $1,800 to $2,500, and that's before you start buying ammo. If you want to cosplay O-Ren with a Desert Eagle at the range, just remember, every magazine is a small donation to your local gun shop's vacation fund. Number 6 is one of the most famous sniper rifles ever built, the Heckler & Co. PSG-1. This is a semi-automatic precision rifle chambered in 7.62 by 51mm NATO, built on a refined G3 pattern. It has a thick, free-floating barrel, an adjustable stock, high-end optics, and an overall vibe of your police department spent the entire budget on one rifle. O-Ren uses the PSG-1 for a rooftop assassination, calmly taking out a Yakuza boss while the city glows behind her. It's clean, controlled, and cold, exactly the kind of scene that makes a gun like this feel terrifying without firing more than one round. In the real world, PSG-1s are rare and extremely expensive. When they show up on the collector market, prices can reach well into the tens of thousands of dollars. In other words, in the Kill Bill universe, this might actually be the most valuable gun by money, but not by story. Number 5 is the classiest surprise you can hide inside a box of sugar, Vernita Green's stainless Walther PPKs. The PPKs is a compact double-action pistol, usually chambered in .380 ACP. It has a steel frame and a short barrel, and that iconic spy movie profile made famous by James Bond. It's elegant, slim, and designed for concealed carry, not a full-blown shootout. In Kill Bill Volume 1, Vernita hides her PPKs inside a bright cereal box labeled Kaboom, planning to ambush the bride in her own kitchen. Only in a Tarantino movie can a breakfast food become a tactical concealment method. Modern PPKs typically cost something like $800 to $1,200, depending on finish and origin. So yes, she's basically stuffing a grand-plus handgun where most people keep stale cornflakes.
At number 4 are the M4A1 style carbines carried by the deadly Viper assassination squad during the Two Pines wedding massacre. The M4A1 is a gas-operated, rotating bolt 5.56 by 45mm NATO carbine built around an aluminum receiver set with polymer stocks and handguards. It's light, modular, and designed to mount optics, lights, and all the accessories you convince yourself you need at 2 a.m. In the chapel flashback, you see these rifles slung or in hand as the team turns a wedding rehearsal into a crime scene, with the bride left bleeding on the floor. The rifles don't get a big hero close-up, but the silhouette is unmistakable. This is modern military firepower in a dusty little church. On the civilian side, AR-15 carbines that look and feel like an M4A1 usually sit in the $900 to $2,000 range, depending on brand, barrel, and how tactical you want your life to be. Number 3 is the I Really Mean It gun, the sawed-off Remington 870 carried by assassin Karen Kim. The base 870 is a pump-action 12-gauge with a steel receiver, steel barrel, and a tubular magazine underneath. It's one of the most common shotguns on the planet. Simple, tough, and endlessly customizable. Saw the barrel short, cut down the stock, and now you have a compact hallway cannon that's brutal at close range and absolutely not legal in that exact form in most places without serious paperwork. In the hotel room scene, Karen points the sawed-off 870 at Beatrix while negotiating whether to kill a pregnant target or walk away. It's a shotgun and a moral dilemma in one very small room. A normal 870 typically costs about $400 to $700. If you want your own, keep it legal, because the ATF does not appreciate Tarantino roleplay. Runner-up at number 2 is the bride's modern sidearm, a stainless Star Firestar M45 in Kill Bill Volume 2. The Firestar M45 is a compact, all-steel pistol chambered in .45 ACP, built by the now-defunct Spanish manufacturer Star. It uses a single-stack magazine, has 1911-style controls, and feels like someone shrunk a classic .45 into a dense little brick of metal. Beatrix carries this pistol as her backup weapon when she heads toward her final confrontation with Bill. It's not flashy, it's not oversized, it's just a serious, heavy-hitting .45 that says if the sword doesn't solve the problem, this will. On the modern used market, Firestars usually run around $400 to $800 depending on condition and whether the seller knows how many Tarantino fans are watching the listing. But as important as these guns are, none of them are the true #1 weapon in Kill Bill. Weapon #1 isn't a gun at all, it's the Hattori Hanzo Katana. In the story, Hanzo is a retired master swordsmith hiding as a humble sushi chef, the kind of man who swore never to make instruments of death again, until the bride walks in and asks for a blade to kill Bill. What he forges for her is, in his own words, the finest sword he's ever made, a weapon so good he practically apologizes to God for creating it. The Hanzo Katana follows classic samurai lines, a long, gently curved single-edged blade, a black-wrapped handle over ray skin, a circular tsuba, and a glossy black scabbard marked with the golden Hattori Hanzo lion logo. Where the guns in Kill Bill are loud, messy, and often used by faceless henchmen, the Hanzo sword is precise, personal, and reserved for main character business only. On screen, that blade does more than any firearm in the entire saga. It carves through the crazy 88, slices limbs, and ends entire character arcs in a single fast cut. Bill's rifle squad can't kill Beatrix at the chapel, but Hanzo's steel lets her walk into Tokyo and essentially erase a crime empire by herself. In real life, you can't buy the Hanzo sword, but you can get frighteningly close. Cheap stainless steel replicas with the right logo and general shape often go for roughly $100 to $200. Great for a wall, not so great for cutting anything harder than fruit. Mid-range replicas with full-tang carbon steel blades, real ray skin wraps, and hairwood saya usually live around the $300 to $400 mark, sold specifically as brides' Hattori Hanzo swords. Go higher into hand-forged high-carbon steel from specialty forges, and you're looking at $600 to $900 or more for a functional, sharp, battle-ready Hanzo-style katana that, in theory, could recreate some of those crazy 88 scenes, preferably on tatami mats, not actual gangsters. So, yes, the video is called Every Gun in Kill Bill, but the deadliest, most important weapon in the entire story is a katana made by a man who swore he would never make such a thing again, and then broke his oath for one woman's revenge. So, there you have it. The shotguns, pistols, carbines, sniper rifles, and the one sword that makes them all look like background noise. Tell me in the comments, if you had to pick one, are you taking the PSG-101 sniper rifle, the Desert Eagle hand cannon, or the Hattori Hanzo katana? And be honest, which one looks cooler hanging on your wall? If you enjoyed this breakdown of Kill Bill's guns and a legendary sword that beats them all, hit like, subscribe to Movies, Guns, TV shows, and ring the bell.